All right, that was Courtney Patton right there. So this is Live Mornings. That was a depressing song to kick off Meet the Candidates. Man, I'm sitting here with Nathan Arizotti with the Montgomery County Lifestyle. Nathan, good morning.
I've got a knife in my hand and I want to slit my wrist.
So this is live. No, just man, that song was really bad. Sorry about that, folks. But you know what? If you want to play, have us play a song, we're on Twitter and Facebook. Just let us know. Meet the Candidates right now. We have a city councilman in the studio. Duke Coon. And
oh my God! How did you land the effervescent Duke Coon?
Well, if you didn't know, people gather on the corners in downtown Conroe, and Duke was out there, and I was like, "Hey, you want to come by?" I'm just kidding with him.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning, Duke.
I think Nathan had a little too much sugar in his cereal this morning, possibly.
Easy. I know. I think what happens is he gets on Facebook and he gets really excited about Facebook.
No, I agree.
But welcome to Lone Star Internet Radio.
Well,
We're glad you're here.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
There's a lot of stuff going on these days with the early election happening in February and the primaries happening. I'm learning more about what the primaries mean. I thought it was just like whoever wins these wins it all, but apparently that's just for the primary of whatever the Republican primary, I guess.
That's
and
correct.
Then we'll vote for them in November?
That's correct.
Cool. But you know what's weird is, and this is, we don't have to touch on it now, we'll touch on it later on the program, is we have another election come up in May. And see, that kind of like blindsided me because I was like, wait, why are we doing that if November, right? But that's the way we work here in city government, and that's just how it happens. But we're lucky to have Councilman Duke Coon. If you don't mind, I want to ask some questions about the city council.
Absolutely.
And just generic questions like how many council people do we have? When do they meet? Because I know I always read about it in the paper, and I've actually had the privilege of being there for a workshop, and I did watch the vote the next day because that's generally how y'all do it. You have a workshop, and the next day y'all vote on what y'all talked about in the workshop.
That's correct.
But yeah, how many council people do we have here?
We have 5 council members and a mayor, kind of a home rule charter system. We meet the second and fourth Thursdays of the month. Our first meeting of the month, the actual council meeting, is at 6 p.m., and our second meeting of the month, which is the fourth Thursday, is a 9:30 a.m. meeting. We also, just prior to each one of these meetings, have a workshop that starts at 2 o'clock the Wednesday just prior to the city council meeting. So, listen, I invite our citizens to come out and, and learn more about their city and get more involved.
Yeah, what's amazing is when I went, I kind of go, where can I find out what we're talking about? And they had this nice sheet right outside the door that goes over everything. Like, it literally goes from alphabet A to Z, like what's coming up. And I thought, man, this is kind of interesting. Even more interesting, though, folks, is you can go to cityofconroe.org and do RCD TV and watch it live.
That's correct.
That's the creepiest thing I've ever seen, but it was neat. But I was like, hey, there they are. They're talking right now, and you can really follow along because see what they're going to be voting on, see what's going on in the city. One thing that impressed me the most, Duke, or is it Councilman Coon? What do you like?
You know what? I prefer Duke.
Okay, Duke.
Most people that know me, you just drop the councilman and just go along with Duke.
One thing that impressed me about the city council position is it's not a paying job.
It is actually.
It is a paying job. Well, it's not a full-time paying job.
No.
So, like, everyone that's the 5 people besides the mayor, correct? Or is the mayor full-time? Or
No. They're not full-time positions. I say that, but most of us spend 10 or 15 hours a week.
You spend at least 4 days at the council in the booth over there. So.
Absolutely. And but listen, it's a pleasure to serve, and being out in the community. It's important. Back to what you were saying about the cityofconroe.org, all of our council meetings and workshops are archived. Mm-hmm. So if there's ever an issue, you're having trouble remembering what a vote was like or what an issue was all about, go back and look at the archives there. I think we're archived about 2.5 years back, and I even do that myself sometimes. If something's coming up that we've had maybe on a prior agenda, something related, some development issues, I'll go back and look at the old council meetings.
Well, that's one thing that was interesting to me too, is being there for the whole process. I was kind of confused how all 5 of y'all are able to review everything in such a timely manner that each one you understood, because there's a lot of information being presented in front of you, and it's like, bam, here you go. Here's page 1. Go to page 2. Right here, page 3. And I'm like, how are these guys able to keep up with this presenter or for whatever they're talking about? So,
well, all credit actually goes to staff.
Okay.
They put our packets together, and when you're talking about operating through a $150 million plus budget, it's critical our staff is on top of all the issues and transmits and relates that information back to the council. Look, the heartbeat of this city is not your mayor and your council. It's our staff. It's the public works guys that you see down in the ditches. It's our fire and policemen.
Y'all cover all of that. Like I'm talking about, if you go to these meetings, you're going to be talking about different roads in the city.
That's
talking
correct.
about the waterworks in the city. I mean, and it goes down to grants for arts and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's crazy what y'all cover, and it happens one after another. So it's not like, oh, we're gonna focus on entertainment in Conroe. Let's see what we can do. No, it's not like that at all. And it's I don't know how y'all do it.
Well, I want to say something, and you didn't get a chance to finish there, but I know you. Some of the other people, because I'm lucky enough to know Jim Gentry as a friend too, and Councilman. I know guys out in the field digging ditches, climbing poles, that you guys have stopped by and they know you on a first name basis. You pay respect to those people out there when you see them out on the streets.
Well, Nathan, that's the backbone. Those good people are the backbone of what we do, and we could never be successful without the staff and the dedicated employees we have. They give us 100% every day. And we're grateful.
Well, that's also a good position to be in my opinion, is working for the city of Conroe, as a career. I mean, I imagine that because this is a growing city, and a lot of respect is being earned through this growth and through the council and through the people who work here. I mean, it's not just you're up here really high. No, y'all are working every day trying to improve the way our quality of life here in Conroe.
Well, that's and working for the city of Conroe is a great opportunity for someone looking to start. We've really got a great investment plan. We've got great health insurance.
I heard it
in play. Yeah, you were there.
I was there. I heard
absolutely. So not only that, I want to kind of touch on our fire and police. Some big municipalities. I won't mention our big brother to the south down there, but they're having trouble with their pension plans. We don't have those problems here because we manage well, and we have some foresight when it comes to looking at these pension plans and how they affect our budget. So I want to tell you today that because of our staff, our mayor, and our council, our city is in a great position, and we're stronger than ever before. So glad to report that this morning.
So with the city council, there's 5 of y'all, and that includes the mayor, correct?
No.
There's 5 council. There's 5 council seats.
That's correct.
And generally, how long are those terms? Because these are all elected positions, folks. So
they're 4-year terms.
4-year terms.
4-year terms. I'm currently in the middle of my term. I was elected again May of 14, as most of you know. Back in 2001. I ran for city council. I was 31 years old, and beat the bushes in the streets out here, and garnered enough votes to win a city council seat. I served from 2002 to 2006. Upon the birth of my daughter in late 2005, I decided not to run for re-election. I was unopposed at that time, and decided the thing to do was to stay home and help my wife, raise our beautiful daughter. She's now 10. Decided, I guess, in sometime in February of 14, Mr. Gentry was leaving position 3. Many community leaders came to me and said, Duke, it's time. Can you come back and help the city of Conroe? And absolutely, I threw my hat in the ring, and I'm proud to be here today representing these great people.
I want to go back to that comment about your pretty little daughter. I tell you what, I don't know who's more popular walking around town, you or her.
It's no question it's Brooke. She look, I have to, since you have me here, I'm going to brag on my daughter because that's probably my most important accomplishment and always will be. Brooke is she's 10 years old. I coach her softball team, the Conroe Pride, believe it or not, softball team. My little girl this past weekend pitched us to a winning tournament, and so she did very well this weekend. She takes a lot of the burden on her shoulders and tries to carry the team along with her other teammates. So we had a great weekend this past Saturday up in Willis and performed well and represented the city of Conroe.
Dick, you think we should have gotten Brooke in here? Maybe she needs to be the next
anyone's
guest.
Welcome.
So, she would definitely be the star of the show. She's a wonderful young lady. I'm very blessed to have a daughter like that.
We're sitting here with Councilman Duke Coon on Meet the Candidates with Nathan Arizotti, my co-host of Montgomery County Lifestyle. We're going to take a quick music break, Duke, and when we come back, I wouldn't mind hearing more about the future of the city of Conroe, and then also anything else really going on that we should all be aware of, because folks, it's really interesting. Check out cityofconroe.org, and especially Our City TV, watching these workshops, watching these councilman meetings, because it's all for the public, and you can participate in a sense. You can go. Can you protest?
Absolutely. We welcome that kind of input from our citizens. The citizens drive the boat here.
That's what. Yeah, and it's important
we're here to serve and
put a
support
voice to that.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
We're going to take a quick break right now, music-wise, and we're going to listen to some Moses Rangel. This song's called "We Ain't Missing Nothing." You're listening to Mornings Lone Star here on IRLoneStar.com.
Ever heard the term time is money? Well, at Marshall & Brown Accounting, they'll maximize your time and deliver real-time results, taking away the confusion and stress of protecting your valuable financial assets. Marshall & Brown Accounting will take that old shoebox full of receipts and provide you with a real-time, cloud-based, viable solution. Contact Marshall & Brown Accounting today at 832-412-7122 or visit Marshall & Brown Accounting at marshallandbrown.com.
Imagine a place where you can sip on Italian coffee and have a sandwich, followed by a fabulous, delectable pastry. We invite you to stop by Conroe Coffee to experience old world charm. Conroe Coffee is located next to the historic Creighton Theater in downtown Conroe. We are open 7 days a week. Please check our website for business hours at conroecoffee.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a caffeinated day.
This is Tony Ramey right there with Soul Survivor, 924. Mornings at Lone Star, IRLoneStar.com, Montgomery County's community radio station. Meet the Candidates is going on right now. Before we get to that, I want to remind people what's coming up today. The Cindy Cochran show is going to come up at around 10 a.m. She's going to have historian Denton Florian in the studio. If you don't know who he is, he made a movie about Sam Houston, and it's going to be on PBS and all that good stuff. It's a great movie, and he's also a huge historian. So if you have history questions, I'm pretty sure he can answer them pretty fast. Following that will be the Conroe Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce, so a chamber chat at 11. Courtney and Samantha will be in the studio, and they're going to be talking about the Go Texan Parade coming up on February 20th. And then, of course, Rick, the Reluctant Cowboy with Afternoons in Lone Star, taking your song requests. And today is 2 for Tuesday, so he'll play back-to-back artists all day through 3 to 7 p.m. And then Lone Star Country Nights tonight, 7 to 9. Wayne Michaels will be in the studio, and he's taking song requests at 936-647-3776. That's what's going on here at Lone Star Community Radio. Right now, though, we're going to get back to Meet the Candidates, Nathan Arizani and Duke Coon, hanging out in the studio. Duke Coon is your city councilman. What position is that?
That's position 3.
3. Is that a big deal, or is that just what you write on paper?
We have it right on paper. We have positions 1 through 5 up there. Proud to sit in position 3.
Okay, there you go. And we were talking about how the council really works in the now, and one thing I want to go forward to is a lot of people don't realize when it comes to local government, the power the city council has to hear your voice and implement what you're trying to say. A lot of people think deaf ears is everywhere in politics, but I want to encourage people that city council and the openness of the city council meetings, it's an opportunity for you as a citizen of the area to voice a concern, to voice an idea, really voice anything that you want to see change or happen, because it's really where it starts. And there's Rodney Poole right there. I'll wave to him.
Mr. Downtown Conroe, Rodney Poole.
Right there. He's walking around. A lot of people walk by all the time, and it's nice to say hi to them. And but focusing on that, I think it's interesting. A lot of people don't realize what you can bring to the table when it comes to a city council meeting, and it's anything, because a lot of people feel like it's just administration work, what you guys do. Y'all just kind of do the normal year-to-year thing, make sure Conroe's great. But if you, as a citizen, have an idea, they can come to you with it. No,
absolutely, and that's why everything up there is geared towards citizen input. That's why we have the the online council meetings, the live council meetings, the Channel 12 that we have, the interactive channel. Listen, we encourage our citizens to come up and tell us how we're doing. If they've got concerns, we talked earlier in one of the breaks. If you've got a concern, you can call Duke on his cell phone. That's 936-520-0769. I give that number to everyone. If you've got a concern or a need, you call me. I'll get with Paul Vergadamo, our city administrator. We'll work to help you. That's what we're here for. Our citizens, this is their city, and we're here to serve their needs. So come to City Hall. Come to City Council. When you come into City Council, if you've got a concern and want to get on the agenda, there's some contact forms you can fill out, and you walk up and hand those to the city secretary, and we'll be glad to have you come right to the dais and speak.
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about, I want to back up for a minute because we missed what we normally get. We're just too excited that you're here and you bring so much to the table about city government and council. I want to talk a little bit about your biography. You don't like talking a lot about yourself other than giving credit to other people. But I think you have an interesting background, and I think you have a humble background that leads into why you have a servant's heart and why you care so much. First of all, Duke, where did that name come from?
Well, my dad was a Houston police officer and ended his career with the helicopter division of the Houston Police Department. Back in 1969, John Wayne came to Houston and Pasadena to make an oil well firefighting movie with Red Adair called Hellfighters. I've
seen it many times.
Absolutely. No, I have. No, I understand. I've seen it about 10 times myself. Anyway, Dad and his group had all the security on John Wayne, and I was born at that same time at Herman Hospital, and so I was gifted with the name Duke Wayne. I'm very proud to have that name. My dad was very fond of him and was close personal friends with him, and there's a book out, John Wayne American. My dad has some credits in the back of that. He was contacted by the author and it was able to help with the writing of that book, John Wayne American.
I think part of your background, too, my dad was field superintendent of the Exxon oil field out in Grangerland. So while he was out there running those wells and had those great pumpers, and God, just he loved the men that he worked with. No one worked for him; they worked with him. You were probably out there running those old dirt roads, weren't you?
Well, I grew up out in that area on an old dirt road, Coon Hollow Road. Attended elementary school out at Ben Milam, and then they bust all these little country boys into Conroe. Busted me over to Crockett and busted us over to Washington Junior High, and then of course I attended Conroe High School, and after that joined the United States Navy. So, listen, it's been a great ride for me. I've got to tell you that, and it's interesting, Nathan. Growing up in the oil field, your dad was in the business. I now today am in the oil and gas industry. We have a very successful valuation company and consulting company here in downtown Conroe. We travel globally. If there's a rig accident, rig fire, insurance matter, we're there. Whether it's Iraq, Libya, doesn't matter. We're there, and so it's interesting how the oil field actually never left. I was in engineering when I was in the United States Navy, so I took some engineering techniques I learned from the Navy, and along with some valuation techniques, we've kind of built a niche business here, and we're very proud to be in downtown Conroe.
So it's Hadco International. Tell us more about that, but I think you'll get a kick out of this. If Chuck Meyer's listening, he's got like 17 BlackBerry phones over there in his office, and he uses all of them. And since Chuck Meyer was like general counsel for BlackBerry, am I lying?
Well,
or
listen, you can't tell all my secrets.
Okay, he's only got 12.
That's why he only gives us that one phone number, because you really don't have all this phone numbers.
Yeah, he's got 17 BlackBerries. What's up with the BlackBerries? That's interesting.
They're
listen,
secure.
That's it.
They have a real. I'm sorry. They really do have an interesting network and database. Basically, their BlackBerry Messenger is one of the most secure messaging services you can get on a phone.
That's it,
and that's why the president has one.
When I'm in places like Iraq and overseas, it's important for me for my messaging to be secure, and so that's exactly why I carry a BlackBerry. A lot of folks look at me and kind of laugh, but that's okay.
Well, no, a lot of people don't realize this. When you travel outside the United States, there's certain countries out there that do monitor. Maybe not necessarily your phone conversation, but it's basically where you're contacting. So they know where your phone number is calling, what phone number, and where it's going. So it's really interesting. A lot of people don't realize that when they, here's my passport, and now I'm here for a visit in the UK, but you don't know you're being monitored. But no, I'm a conspirator. I was kidding. No, but it's true, especially if you're in war-torn countries and stuff. You never know who's monitoring. It's kind of scary. But
tell us more about Hadco and how that helps you as city councilman.
Well, you know something. Being a small business owner, I think is important. Our like I mentioned earlier, we have a $151 million budget. We need to run City Hall like a business and take the big government out of it. So. Obviously, being a businessman, understanding what it's like to make payroll, the insurance, et cetera, all the things that go with running a business, I just apply those same techniques and common sense to managing a $150 million plus budget at the city.
Well, I think that's what the great opportunity as a city council person you do have is you have the responsibility outlook with the citizen in mind. And that's one thing I love about the balance of city council, how it works. Like, I can come in there and be like, we need a hot air balloon festival here. And that might be the most outrageous thing, but you'll listen. And if you business wise, if it brings enough money for tourism, all that kind of stuff, maybe. But like, again, if you come to the city council, people, make sure you're logical about what you're talking about, and especially you can clearly explain yourself. Make sure you get that packet to the staff first, because they'll put that packet in their hands, the city council, before you just show up like, I need $50 million. So.
Well, listen, if you have a hot air balloon festival you want to bring to downtown Conroe, which may not work, we'll talk to Harold Hutchinson over at the CVB over there, and he controls that hot tax money, and that's what that hot tax money is for putting on festivals and things like that. So.
Yeah, that's what's really neat, is a lot of people don't realize the opportunities, and there's a lot of air channels you can go through, not just through city council, but any other places in Conroe. Conroe is huge. And being a city council person, I don't know how that has to be somewhat exciting to be a city council person.
You know something? I wake up every morning realizing we have 75,000 citizens. And when I wake up in the morning, I think, gosh, I have to answer to 75,000 people. It's part of what I do. I'm proud of it. I gave my cell phone number out a minute ago. And if it starts ringing and rings all day, I'll take every call and see how I can help. So it's an honor to serve. It truly is.
Well, we're sitting here with Councilman Duke Coon in the studio on Meet the Candidates with Nathan Arizati. We're going to take another music break. When we come back, I want to know a little bit about the future of Conroe, what we see happening with all this growth. That's the big hot buzz, is the growth. But where are we going to put all these people, and what kind of voice can we give these new folks, especially they can get where's the I guess it's the Cliff Notes of Conroe. Let's do that. So if you stick around here on Mornings with Lone Star here at irlonestar.com, we got great music. Here's some Zane Williams. This guy's from Fort Worth. The song's called She Is.
The caring professionals at Mona Laser Med Spa want to reveal your unique natural beauty with a customized treatment plan. Specializing in cosmetic laser resurfacing, chemical peels, and the popular skin pen procedure, Mona Laser Med Spa's low, affordable prices for Botox and fillers is guaranteed to put a smile on your face. 832-930-1650. Online at mona-laser.com. 13843 Highway 105. Mona Laser Med Spa.
All right, Zach Coffee right there. Love will lead me back to you. 9:41. Sitting in the studio with Meet the Candidates every Monday through Friday leading up to March 1st for voting. mctx.org/election for your polling locations and times for early voting and, of course, voting on March 1st. Nathan Arizati is my co-host, and today we have your city council person for Conroe, Duke Coon, in the studio. And we kind of teased a little bit, if we don't mind touching on this, Duke, is the future of Conroe and ways city councils affect the future too. So if you don't mind, give me some examples of what do you foresee happening with the city? Well,
obviously development is key to a city's growth. Right now we've, for example, last year I think we had 640 new home starts. That's great for our tax base. And obviously, most of our budget comes from sales tax revenue that we generate. And but no, the ad valorem portion is very important to the tax base. So we're very pleased with the numbers we saw last year with new home starts. We've got some exciting things happening I need to talk about. Grand Central Park, that's Johnson Development. That's a mixed-use area over there. It's going to be commercial in the front, residential in the back. It's about 2,000 acres. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Howard Hughes, the development up there. 1097 and 45, just another 2,000-acre master plan community coming in. I mean, it's just amazing what's happening in the city of Conroe. And so since we're on this path, I also want to talk about our industrial park. As you guys know, the CIDC, I'm on that board. Conroe Industrial Development Corporation has partnered with the state of Texas for a League Line road extension. It's going to extend League Line from 45 right into our industrial park and our beautiful airport out there. As most of you know, the airport runway has been extended. We have a customs facility going in, and that just all ties in with the Dyson Tech Park. So Conroe is poised. I mean, the growth is there, the infrastructure's in the ground, and we're really poised to really move into this next decade on a positive note. So we have the things in place for corporations to come in. We have the airport. The airport's ready to go, and I could not be happier about where we are right now from a financial standpoint and from a growth standpoint.
I got to tell you, I almost wish that we had booked you for 2 hours, but I think we need to have you. Well, we need to have you come back because you hit on a lot of things right there that you could talk about each one of those for 5-10 minutes and it not be boring. I mean,
sure.
You guys have been into long-term studies and not wasted money studies. I mean, you individually as men and women of the city council and the great staff and the attorneys and stuff analyzing. I think one of the problems getting legal on out there was what, the railroad?
That's correct. We've got that out of the way, and Nathan, you just touched on it. Long-term strategic planning is important. We're ready to grow. We're there, so I'm very excited about the future and where we're headed. And I'd love anytime you want me to come back. I'd love to talk to you in more detail about these things. I'm passionate about it. And
I know there's a couple of things we talked about a minute ago that you like to talk about, and man, they're hot buttons for me. I absolutely love the work that Lone Star Family Health does.
Absolutely.
I wish I had every employee's name to throw out. I'm going to throw out one, Marilyn Kazmierski, because she's the one that introduced me to that when I was working and doing some work in the Dugan area. Conroe Connection has connected that. Tell us about that, and then we got one question that we'll hit on later that somebody typed in about.
I'd love to. I joined that board in 2008. We were in a small 20,000 square foot facility over by the police station on Metcalf. I became board chair, I guess, sometime in 2010. We decided to expand. We run a pretty tight ship over there, and as you know now, we have a 75,000 square foot facility over on the South Loop, and we serve about 4,500 patients a month. And so it's probably, Nathan, the most important public thing I've ever done in my life, being associated with that healthcare facility and really serving the needs of the underprivileged. So we're very, very blessed over there. We run a very tight ship. We're one of the top FQHCs in the country.
What's beautiful about that is they help so many underprivileged. They've got a sliding scale. Mm-hmm. Women get, free mammograms and things like that. But they've got incredible doctors that even if you have insurance and even if you have plenty of cash, they've got incredible doctors. You can still have them as your family doctor.
No, absolutely. Look, we serve everyone's needs. If you've got the best insurance in the world, you walk through those doors and you'll be served by some very competent doctors. And one other thing I want to mention, we've got a great residency program over there, one of the best in the state of Texas. So we're producing doctors, and they're staying right here in our community.
And it's important to get involved over there no more, because at one time the federal government was looking at taking their funding away.
That's correct.
And they truly do help the underprivileged. They truly do help the women, and it's not the way the government chooses to fund Planned Parenthood. That's another topic I won't put you into right now.
Thank you.
But that Lone Star Family Health, Maryland, and all that staff, they're incredible. I would love for you to talk about Conroe Connection. That is an incredible baby that has tied so much for others in this town.
Well, listen, the city of Conroe, several years ago, got into discussions with some transportation companies and started going out looking for grants. So we have funded the Conroe Connection. It's a bus service. It's a kind of a closed loop system. I guess it's about 7 or 8 miles of system. And, 95% of that's been paid for by federal grants. So we're very pleased with our participation numbers and the riders. It's increased the mobility for many citizens who needed it. So Conroe Connection has been quite a success for us here in the city of Conroe.
Sean Johnson, I know that was kind of like, that's her baby. That when she's 85 years old, she's going to be telling people about the Conroe Connection.
Well, she does an excellent job for us. She really does.
What else, Duke? What else is important to City Council? What you do, tying into the community and stuff? What else do you need the listeners to know?
I'm president of the Crichton Theater Foundation. I always want to put a plug in for the arts, and let me tell you, I'm not really a theater guy. I was approached years ago to sit on the theater board, the foundation board, and became president of that foundation. I tell you, I've really become to love the arts here in downtown Conroe. We've got some beautiful theaters down here, the Owen, of course, and of course the Crichton. You come down on a Friday or Saturday night, the streets are full. The tavern is full, the Red Brick Tavern. The corner pub in Rodney over there, it's like family when you walk in the door. So we're very pleased with what's happening with downtown. We're starting to see all that infrastructure we put in many years ago pay off. All the street lights, all the pavers, we're seeing that infrastructure pay off now. With the participation from our citizens in downtown. So we're very pleased with how downtown's turned out.
Yep, I understand there's going to be a new event hall coming in too.
Oh, you're talking about over at Spirit of Texas Bank?
Well, Martin's.
Oh,
downtown,
Martin's. I haven't heard about that.
right downtown.
Well,
I
that's
believe
something
Ruthie,
new.
J. Ross was going to do something, and I think Ruthie picked up the torch, and it's going to be event hall. It's going to be want to do the same thing. A lot of local artists, a lot of young artists, and things like that. But being able to be downtown and feel the downtown spirit of Conroe.
I usually don't miss things. I've been down here almost 20 years, but that's good. That's great news.
I guarantee you wasn't supposed to say that.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We miss Jay Ross. I served on city council with Jay Ross for 4 years, from 2002 to 2006, and he certainly left a great legacy behind, and was kind of the best cheerleader we could ever have for downtown. So he's certainly missed, and all our prayers go out to his wife.
tell us more about Spirit of Texas. That's pretty interesting. A lot of people don't know that.
My understanding is they're going to put in a 1,200 seat kind of outdoor amphitheater type situation over there. I know Dean Bass well. It's going to be exciting. I've got to tell you, when you exit 105 coming north from Houston, Conroe is the place to be. So we're very excited about the beautiful facility that Spirit of Texas has built over there. It enhances our downtown area and the gateway into downtown. And very excited to see this amphitheater be built. This is huge. This is big for our city.
Yeah, there's a lot of great developments in the area, and the greatest thing is we're kind of paralleling it with houses.
That's right.
So we're not just going to be a place. Conroe's not going to be a place just to visit, but it's a place to live, and quality of life is going to go up. And that's one thing I'm kind of continually impressed with Willis ISD, Montgomery ISD, and Conroe ISD is their education purposes, and then especially having a family here, from birth to all the way to 18, and then sending to college up to Sam Houston
That's
or
correct.
U of H or wherever close by. But Duke, thank you so much for coming in and being part of Mornings of Lone Star. Meet the candidates, and Nathan, you too. And what do we got lined up for tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Wednesday.
Yeah, it is
Why
Wednesday.
did you just ask me that?
I always ask you that at the very end of every segment.
I'm supposed to know. Do we have one more minute, or we got to go?
We have to go in about 4 minutes.
We
So-
have an incredible question, Duke, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
How has the annexation of the April Sound area changed the dynamics of the city and the politics of the city and surrounding area? That's been a hot button.
He's asking this because he's going to find out who's coming up on Wednesday. He's trying to buy time.
No, I understand. So listen, I have not been in favor of some of the annexations with the city of Conroe. Before I got back on city council in May of 2014, the decision was made to annex April Sound. I was against the idea. Now, with that being said, annexation is a very important part of a city's growth. There are a lot of vacant acreage tracts that I support annexation on. But April Sound was unique. They've got some older infrastructure out there. They're great citizens. But if I would have been sitting on city council at that time, I would have voted against that annexation. Nathan, first and foremost, it's about our citizens' rights. And city government should never infringe on someone's rights, their property rights, etc. And while I understand the context and of annexation and what that means for your municipality, I think we've got to be better Texans, first and foremost, and listen better. So I was against that. Now, directly back to your question, how has it affected the city of Conroe? We've got, our population now is up to 75,000 folks. It added to the tax base. They're wonderful residents out there, and they have the opportunity to vote. Coming up in May, they'll be voting at the Living Branch Church out on 105. We've opened up, obviously at City Hall, we'll have some early voting, and we've opened up a early voting station down on FM 1488 at Grace Crossing Church. So there'll be 3 places for early voting. Early voting is April 25th through May the 3rd. And Election Day is May 7th. Like I said earlier, I'm not running for election or office. My term's not up till 2018, but it's important to get that information out. Annexation is a tough issue, Nathan, and we have to be smart. We have to plan for it. And number one, we have to be good Texans when we think about doing it.
I appreciate that candid response. The biggest, toughest question we have is, where are you going to be next Tuesday, February 9th, between the hours of 5 and 8? Are you going to be at a Golden Girls pancakes up or flipping pancakes and asking for tips and donations?
As a Conroe Tiger, as a proud Conroe Tiger, Nathan, that's exactly where I should be. Yes, I'll be there.
Outstanding. Dick, take it away. I'm being a goof.
All right. If you're
He's
just
gonna
now
be a
catching the tail end, we had Duke Coon, your city councilman for Conroe, Texas, in the studio. We're going to be podcasting the visit, so just check us out on irlonestar.com and also on SoundCloud and Facebook. Coming up next is the Cindy Cochran Show. And like I said, Denton Flooring will be in the studio, so we're going to get back to the music until then. So stick around here on irlonestar.com, your Montgomery County community radio station.
Thank you for checking out a podcast on Lone Star Internet Radio. Lone Star Internet Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas. If you are interested in sponsoring a program for Lone Star Internet Radio, just visit us online at irlonestar.com or message us on Facebook. We are always taking song requests on Twitter, and if you are interested in getting involved with the station, by either hosting your own show or if you want to be a DJ, just contact Dick at irlonestar.com. Lone Star Internet Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station.